So I'm not actually sure how many people are going to want to watch an adaptation of The Stand in the middle of a global pandemic. I definitely feel like it could be a turnoff for some people. I know some people who are like excited to watch Contagion and Outbreak on Netflix during the pandemic, but I personally was not one of them. But I know there's enough of this story that isn't about the outbreak of this contagion that brings about the apocalypse, so to speak, that I think a lot of people will be able to look past that and just enjoy it as an entertaining supernatural horror series in some sense. There's already been an adaptation of this, and I know that a lot of people view this as Stephen King's magnum opus. For me personally, I felt kind of like it was one big shaggy dog story that built up to something really exciting and never actually went there. It just kind of dribbled away into nothing by the end, in my opinion. But I'm definitely excited for this. This is something that could definitely rival Game of Thrones in popularity. It's on CBS All Access, which in my opinion has a habit of making really, really good-looking shows with horrible writing. A lot of their output is very, very cinematic looking, very, very big budget looking, but then the writing just doesn't quite deliver. But this looks very promising when you look at the cast and a lot of the talented people involved. And arguably, Stephen King is even better at killing off characters than George R. Martin is, particularly in this story. So let's see what we're working with here. This is only going to be like a 30-second clip, but I've been looking forward to seeing what they were making. So let's see. Well, that looks pretty strong. Obviously, that was super, super short, so not a lot to go off of. But obviously, I think Whoopi Goldberg is casting made in heaven. As successful as she is, I feel like she deserved even more success. And it's just, she's one of those actresses I think that Hollywood just doesn't know quite to do with. I think that Hollywood can be a difficult place for a woman, and particularly for a woman of color. But she's been very, very successful, but this is just a great casting choice, and particularly since she is at this stage in her career where it makes perfect sense for her to play this role. Alexander Skarsgård looks, again, like a brilliant casting choice as the character that he's playing. I guess I don't want to really spoil that for the uninitiated, but overall, I think it looks very, very solid. It really is going to come down to the writing, as most television shows do, and they've got their work cut out for them, because this story, as much as I've had this mixed relationship with Stephen King, where I really like some of his stuff, and some of his stuff really, really frustrates me, and this was on the really, really frustrates me side. I read his book on writing, and when you find out how he writes his stories, his writing process, it makes a lot of sense why his stories start off very good and then kind of peter out. It's because he starts with a really exciting concept, and then he just keeps writing and writing and writing, and he doesn't really believe in outlining and forcing his characters to go in certain directions. He likes to just kind of let the characters go where they're going to go. But the problem with this is it often, I think, results in his stories feeling not very thought out and ending on fairly unsatisfactory notes. Now, there are exceptions to this, obviously, but I personally did not think The Stand was one of them. I felt like it started out very promising and then kind of petered out. But we'll see what this adaptation is like, and obviously knowing what the story is going in will probably make it easier for me to accept what this adaptation does. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And as always, you can watch more videos right now.